Hello, everybody, and welcome to another brand new episode on Boundary Line Podcast with Dillon and Sheldon. We're going to be discussing about the second test between New Zealand and England that's about to be played at Nelson. And just reminding our viewers there before going ahead to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and yes, please stay tuned for more updates on this channel as we discuss all things cricket. Let's get a move on then. So New Zealand versus England, we all know how the first test panned out, Sheldon. We all know how that went. England just passballing them, if I may say. I know England fans don't like to hear that word anymore, but yeah, I thought
You've
England
used the term, Dylan. You've used the term on the
I
show.
fell into the trap of using of using the word. But yeah, some amazing cricket there by England. I thought, they played really well, and yeah, just winning that test 1-0 going up. So what do you think? What's is going to happen in the next test? You think definitely New Zealand have to play really well to win this match. But apart from that, I don't know how they're going to bounce back.
Yeah, Dylan, I was just checking New Zealand's squad and I was so surprised by the lack of bowling options they have in it. Like I
Yeah.
was just going through and I thought, I saw last game, I don't be harsh on any bowler, but Tickner and Kugelin, I mean, I don't want to point them out. They might get man of the match in the next game, but it just feels like a big step down. And I was thinking this today, and I want to ask you about this still. The Trent Boult situation. We even discussed a bit yesterday. But don't you feel, Dill, when you have a player like Trent Boult, right? And
Yeah.
and he doesn't want to play all the games, right? He wants to, kind of pick and choose his games, right? That's what
Yeah.
he wants to do, right?
Yeah.
Don't you feel for some players you can allow that? I remember for South Africa, for AB, right? There were a
Yeah.
few series which he didn't want to play. He didn't want
Yeah.
to play Bangladesh at home. I mean, understandable. No disrespect to Bangladesh, but he didn't want to play that series because he wanted to play the bigger series.
Yeah.
So when you have a player of that quality, can you make an exception or is that disrespectful to the other players? What do you think about that?
Well, it depends, I think, from board to board. I think New Zealand
Yeah.
has always been very so-called not strict, I would say, but they've been very hard with their rules, right?
Yeah.
Somewhat like that. And I don't know why it's not changed for them, because I think even with India going ahead, you see a lot of guys there. I mean, if I can speak, with regards to the Indian team, because India plays a lot of matches and all. You see how they move the guys around, right? And even for instance, I believe VK for that example, right? He didn't want to play one test. He didn't want to play the last test match because of the birth of his child. Those are all understandable. And like you said, like even AB de Villiers, he didn't want to play those test matches. And I think certain leeway can be given, especially when you have these big names in your team. Like tomorrow, for example, if VK said that he doesn't want to play, you know, Afghanistan for some reason at home.
Yeah.
It's okay. At the end of the day, it's fine because he doesn't want. He's reached a stage now that his he needs to concentrate on his batting. He wants to play the big games, and that's rightly so. So I think New Zealand should have at least taken that into consideration and probably handled it better, because now this feels like a slap on the board for them, right? If Trent Boult is just going around playing a T20 cricket everywhere and he doesn't give a shit about what's happening, to his
Yeah,
team back home.
Yeah, exactly. And I think Trent Boult never said that he's not available for selection.
Yeah.
He just opted out of a central contract. So he's available, they're just not choosing him. And to be fair, I understand if you have a lot of bowling options or if you have a lot of batting options, you can afford to leave out Boult. But let's get real. Boult is better than Tickner and Kugelin and whoever else is in the squad. I mean, right? And that's pretty straightforward. And New Zealand are not blessed with resources like India, as you were
Yeah,
pointing out, right? How
exactly.
they have other batsmen who can come in for Kohli. New Zealand have a lesser playing pool to select from. So
Yeah.
Trent Boult is even more important than. And I'm pretty sure if you ask Trent Boult, do you want to play against England at home in a test series?
Yeah,
He'd want to play that. So
of course. Yeah.
that's the only issue I had with things. I was like, and I think you should make leeway for those stars.
Yeah, you have to. I think there comes a time where you have to understand that these guys are the reason why people go to these games. You want to see a Kane Williamson play. You want to see a Trent Boult play against Ben Stokes. You want to see that action going on, right? So if these guys are not there, then this New Zealand team looks deflated like a bit, right? Just without one name itself, without him itself,
Exactly.
the team looks different. Imagine if he was playing the first test. at least there would have been
Yeah.
some sort of fight, I'm guessing, some sort of a thing like, matchups against him and Ben Stokes or like a Harry Brook, for example, that would have been like
With the pink
interesting.
ball also, Dill.
Yeah,
With
with
the
the
pink ball underlights Trent Boult, like
Trent Boult is
that would
just,
have been.
yeah, it would have been really interesting. But I mean, to each his own, right? Like, Trent Boult,
Yeah.
he knows what he's doing. And like you said, he's available there, but he's just not been picked. So that's a whole different debate for another day. But
Yeah.
interesting, Sheldon, that I was reading a stat that, and I was seeing that New Zealand have lost 4 out of 4 games. They've played against England.
Yeah, and it must be pinching them more that that the England coach is a New Zealander, right?
Yeah.
Like they must be like, why can't you come over here, Baz? I'm pretty sure we need some coaches. But
yeah,
that is interesting. And New Zealand, for years was such a disciplined side.
Yeah.
They were very hard to beat, and they were very like always on point. And you just feel lately with all the changes and players being changed, maybe for the first time in a long time, New Zealand just losing that that fighting thing that they had.
Yeah.
I guess that does happen though when a side goes through transition as well.
Yeah, it does happen. And especially after Ross Taylor going out, like, you feel that void inside there, like, in the team, like there's no sort of big name there apart from Kane Williamson and, there's no sort of big name in the batting order there, if I may say so. But yeah, I think it's time now for Kane Williamson, to get some runs. Guy's been like, not getting runs off late.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, I think since he had that elbow injury, which he had like a year back or so.
Yeah.
Remember, he had that. He just hasn't looked the same player. I don't know if he ever fully recovered from that, but I guess with time, maybe he will find it.
Yeah.
To be fair, also last game it was tough because he did get 2 very good balls as well.
Yeah.
And that really could happen to anyone.
Beauty of a ball like he got, and that was almost every batsman I thought would have been like, okay, that's a damn good ball. How do you like negotiate that? How do you play that ball, right? Because it was really tough. Also, moving on to the England squad, I feel what do you reckon? They're going to go unchanged for this test, or like they're going to make a few changes there? Maybe Zach Crawley goes out, someone else come in, just in place of just for the one test, or you think they're going to be like, no, screw it, like we just play this match as well and take it?
I think they'll go unchanged. I think there's no reason for them really to make a change after a win, and you wouldn't want to mess up with the balance of the side or anything. The only thing would be if a bowler is tired or anything, but they didn't really bowl that long in the last game, so there shouldn't be that thing. And on Crawley, I mean, we discussed about him last game as well, and in that second innings he got that start under lights, and then he pulls one and he nicks off, and you're like,
how often have you seen that happening? Even in India when he came, I remember one of the match he got a start and he was looking good, and then he just like gives it away, right?
Yeah, that's like the hard part to do, right? For an opener, like getting in, like, and then if you get yourself out, it's so frustrating after that. And honestly, that first innings was atrocious. That was as bad an innings as I've seen. He was almost out 3 times in 13 balls. I mean, New
Zealand must have been like, let's keep this guy at the crease and get the other guys out.
Yeah, exactly. And it was just like I don't really know what to do. They didn't even take an extra opener in the squad. I personally would have for this series and tried him out in this series, because England don't have those many games until they play Australia in the Ashes.
Exactly.
It's this game and then the one against Ireland, and that's it.
And then
the first half.
But I think from what it seems like and what it looks like, I think they are going to go ahead with Zach Crawley even in that next game with Ireland, and then I think he's more likely to play the Ashes. I think Bats is going to give him a chance and see. And I think in that series, like the first game, if England lose that first game in the Ashes, then I think Baz is going to be like, okay, mate.
That's another thing also, Dill. I think it's so much easier to keep a player in when you're winning.
Yeah.
Because, like, imagine if England were losing, then more and more questions would come on Crawley.
Exactly.
Like, oh, they're not playing well. What changes should they make? Like, this guy should go out, this guy should go out. But when you're winning, you kind of get more leeway, which is just how the game works.
Yeah, because that's what you see, right? Yeah, because that's what you see right now. Because if Zach Crawley is not scoring the runs, you got Ben Duckett who's making those runs. Then in one game you get a Joe Root, will get a good knock there. And Harry Brook now has been like in the form of his life, like we discussed in the review of the last match. Ben Stokes out of the blue comes out and is like, plays some crazy innings. So you've got these guys there, like, to do it for you. So that's why I think people are not looking much at Zach Crawley, especially in this series. But coming to another interesting point is Ben Stokes. Do you think he's running short of some runs right now? You think is he in the need of some runs, like, that playing that captain's knock right now. Like, do you reckon in the next test he's going to do that, play that captain's knock and get the team 2-0?
Ben Stokes' captain has been brilliant. I have no doubt about that. But I just feel like sometimes when he's batting, he bats like an idiot. And that's the nicest thing I could say.
Because that's some harsh words.
I love Ben Stokes. You know that, Dill.
Yeah.
And he's one of my favorite players on the planet. But I just feel he almost sells himself short as a batsman.
Yeah.
He comes out and he tries to hit every ball. He's a better batsman than that. He has a very good technique. If he just bats normally, he'll get runs and he gets it fast. Yeah. He doesn't have to try to hit every ball out of the stand. Like, even last game, he hit the 6 to break McCullum's record, and next ball he tried again and he almost got out.
Yeah.
Like, it's so unnecessary. And I feel he's such a good batsman. That's why I'm saying that. I feel like if he just stands and plays his normal game, he can score. Yeah, and that's all I'll have to say about that, because I just feel he can score so many more runs. His average should be above 40, and it isn't. And that's just because I feel he sometimes plays too loose, and I guess he's trying to send a message to the team that that's how, we want to play positive.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have to do that all the time. I think by now, after all these games, the team knows what they have to do and play positive. Yeah. He can just calm down a bit now and just play his normal game.
Thank you so much, guys, for watching the video. If you like the video, once again, do hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and let us know in the comment section what you thought about the video. And please share your ideas with us. If you have any ideas for our channel, do let us know in the comment section, and we'll really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching once again. Take care.